So Airbnb data, I will also email you the data for people who are not able to download. Amsterdam, Chicago is old, 2021 only. We are using Amsterdam data. Anybody's email ID is missing here? You can just know, right? What is your email ID? TARIQFAHEM4@gmail.com. Vinay. Vinay, can you give your email ID, please? Airbnb Amsterdam data, so that you will have a data reference in your email ID. That's all. Otherwise, I request you to download directly from the websites and save it in a folder. Share. All right. See, whenever you start with any Python project, you need to download 3 libraries. Not download, import. You need to import 3 libraries. Import pandas as PD. Is the font size clear for all the people? Okay. Import numpy as np. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. And the 4th line, %matplotlib inline. The 4th line is to see the graph immediately after the cell. All of you are comfortable with the font, or you want me to increase the font size? Okay. Import pandas as PD, import numpy as np, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, %matplotlib inline. And simply typing in the cell is not enough. You have to run the cell. Either you can click on run, or the keyboard shortcut is Shift plus Enter. The cursor can be anywhere in the cell. The cursor can be anywhere in the cell. You can use Shift plus Enter, or you have to click on run. Unless you run the cell, it will not be executed. How will you know it is executed? You can see a number appearing in this square brackets. If the code is running, you will see a star in these square brackets. Once the code execution is done, the star will convert into number. Right? So typing the commands and then clicking on the run, or keyboard shortcut is Shift plus Enter. Shift plus Enter will run the existing cell and create a new cell. Shift plus Enter will run an existing cell and create a new cell for the next thing. Pandas, PANDS, all of you could run it, right? You didn't get any error. Please be careful with the spelling mistakes. There is an autofill option. 3 letters and press the tab on your laptop, it will autofill. Sometimes dot, function name dot, or data frame name dot, and press the tab. It will give you all the list of options. That way you can avoid spelling mistakes. Okay, So please be careful. 90% are syntax or spelling mistakes only. I will explain to you in a moment what these libraries are and what is their role in our data science. Now, we have to set up a working directory. Set up working directory is very important because we will be storing the data in this directory, and any outputs you are saving will be automatically saved in this folder. For setting up the working directory, you have to import a library called IO, input output. It is part of the base Python. Import IO, %CD. CD means change directory. Windows laptop guys, double quotes. Mac guys, single quotes. %CD space double quotes. Mac guys, single quotes. Now you have already created a folder, right? You already have created a folder, right? All of you, where you have shared your data. Right click on the folder, go to properties, security. You will see the folder path with folder name. Right click on the folder, properties. Right click on the folder, properties. Right click on the folder, properties, security tab. In security tab, in object name, you will see C: and the complete path of the folder. Complete path of the folder, including folder name. Don't follow mine. Mine is Mac. Mine is a little bit different. You follow your one. You will start with C: and then you will see the complete. Copy the path. When you're copying the path, do not copy the empty spaces before and after. Exactly copy the path and run the cell. You should get an output like this. Percentage MAT PLOT LID space impact. Run shift plus enter. Pandas as PD. Small. You save them in the text file. If you are finding it difficult to type every time, map plot link L is missing. Third line. Plot TL eval and then run it again. Plus enter. Map plot pie plot P is missing. PY plus enter. Save copy it. Select all the 4 lines. Control C and save it to the text file on your desktop. Because you are making a lot of mistakes. Say minimize it, right click. New text file, text document. Open it. Control V. Save it. Okay. Till you are comfortable with the names and all, use that one. Anybody got error here? No, right? You should get the path clearly. Now you have to bring the data into that folder. Your what listings.cs which you have downloaded, this should be in the folder. Okay. Now we will just import the data. We will give a name. What name we will give? Airbnb data. Airbnb DF data frame is equal to pd dot read re and then tab pd dot. I'll tell you the syntax. read underscore CSV, open bracket, double quotes or single quotes, whatever name you are giving to the data set. You have given the name as listings, right? Yeah? Use listings.csv. I have given a different name, so I'll use the name. You guys have to use whatever name you have given. You have reported the data first. First, you create a folder on your desktop or any location. You minimize it, keep the text file open. First, you open a folder, right click, new folder. Name it as Python or something. Now, bring the listings file into this folder from downloads. Guys, you guys are able to do? No. Hi, welcome. Please don't hesitate to follow. Just right click. Cut. No, you have to select the file. Right click. Cut. Go to that Python folder. Control V. It is open. You close the file. They are not able to. Now copy it again. Now you close it. Control X. Right, use Control X. Go to that folder. Control V. Close the folder. Close the folder. Right click on the folder. First, right click on folder. Properties. Security tab. Copy the path. The folder object name. Object name. The path. Control C. Go to the Python notebook. Import IO. Import IO. No, not on top. IO. Input output. Percentage CD. Come down. Double quotes. Press double quotes. Now control V. Paste the path. Now shift plus enter. Right. Now Airbnb data listings.csv. The file name we have given is listings.csv, right? Right? Airbnb df or data or even this is equal to pd dot re tab re and tab. Press the tab. See, select it, double click it, underscore CSV, right? Our file is CSV, right? Open bracket. Open round brackets. Double quotes or single quotes, your choice. Listings.csv, right? listings dot, no space, dot csv. File name. Right, got it. So there is error num5 phy. There is no hex there. Number is py. Then I increase the font size better. Not plot you put a LA, check the spellings. It is saying there is a spelling mistake. Check that word. You have written A. Remove it. Invalid syntax. Remove it. Don't select this code. Don't select the code. Run the cell. Don't select the cell. Cursor can be anywhere on the cell. No need to select it. Got it. Shift plus enter. Error. Take it over to desktop. See? Something is missing. Go to the folder. Percentage CD, percentage CD. Space, double quotes. No, don't paste it. That is wrong. Now remove the double quotes again. There is a special character already inserted. Double quotes. Go to the folder. Close the folder. Go to the location outside the double quotes. Right click. Properties. Security. Object name. First one. Object name on top. The first. Yeah. Copy the path. Control C. Go to the blueprint also. Control V. Run it now. Shift plus enter. Now run the pd.read.csv command. You have data in the folder? Yes. Listings.csv. Airbnb, whatever name you want, you can give. Or you follow the naming convention which I have given. Directly run the cell. Okay? Don't select the content in the cell. Airbnb dx is equal to pd.read_csv. See, the standard syntax for Python, Python is no longer a programming only language. Python is a function oriented language. There are predefined functions. There are predefined functions in Python that will help us to do a lot of things. Now, the standard here, if you look at the things what we have done, what is PD here? Pandas library. So the standard syntax is PD first library name dot the function name. Read_CSV is a predefined function. Read_CSV is a predefined function. Functions in Python are lowercase. Functions are function name, sorry. Lower case. Function name are lowercase. Every function in Python must have parenthesis or round brackets. Whether type it or write, don't try to waste time on typing, write it in the notes. I will share this notebook with you. So, okay, either write it on a pen and paper or you can take the notes from the, I'll share it at the end of the session, okay? So every function in Python must have parenthesis or round brackets. Parenthesis is nothing but round brackets. Either the brackets will be null, either parenthesis will be null. What do you mean by null? Empty. Either parenthesis will be null or arguments must be given separated by comma. If you are giving multiple arguments, you have to give them separated by comma. This is the standard syntax. Library name dot function name. If you are looking at the syntax of Python, particularly function-based syntax, library name dot function name and round brackets. Library name and function name followed by round brackets. Every function must have round brackets or parentheses. You have always sorted this socket? No. So this is the syntax. So first delete everything double quotes, not the percentage, the double quotes, including double quotes delete. Give fresh double quotes. Now go to the folder. One thing you are having a problem is maybe you have to change the default process. Now go to the folder, get the folder. Right, properties, security, object name. When you're copying, don't copy anything before and after. Copy, go back, Control V, Shift plus Enter. If there are white spaces selected before and after, empty spaces, you get that. So exactly you have to set the no space before or after. Before after, it will do that. Online guys, what is the status? Online guys, you can download a software called AnyDesk. Online, if you are facing any problem, there is a software called AnyDesk which will help you to remotely access your system and correct the error. So if you have any problem, please download this software and give me the 9-digit number. AnyDesk. So AnyDesk, if you have any problems online guys, give me your 9-digit number. Download. This is a very small software. Download, install it and give me the 9-digit number. I'll access it and correct your errors. Okay. Library lib name dot function name. Every function name must have parameters, except couple of functions like shape and b type, they don't have parentheses. But otherwise, parenthesis is mandatory. Either the parenthesis will be null, null means empty, or you can give which compiler? Because Python is a IPA language, you can't save. If you want to save your project, you have to use any compiler. So here we are using Jupyter Notebook for learning. Once you go to industry, you will be using PyChart. That is because PyChart comes with developer ability. If you are comfortable with PyChart, you can use it, your choice. But the problem with PyChart means it will take time to execution will be slightly delayed in PyChart. That is why we don't use PyChart in training. And in PyChart, the errors will not be pointed out. This is a cell-based environment. So you will know exactly which cell where you are getting there. In Python, you have to go through line by line and go start through the code and then you have to find the error. Here you can find the code very, very easily. So initially, we will teach Python through Jupyter Notebook because this is a cell-based environment. Debugging is very, very easy. In Python, debugging is slightly complicated. Once you gain experience in debugging, understand where you are making mistakes and all, we will do a session on deployment. I will do a session on deployment. There I have to use Python. There will be a session on deploying the model, converting the model into a pickle and deploying it as an application using Flask. That session will also be done at the end of in the last 20 days or 30 days of the things. A lot of technical things will be done. How do you deploy the model into production? All those things will be there. Then we have this Python, no option. So we will work on that. Okay. So why we use Jupyter Notebook is there are other things. Spider is also there. MATLAB. Spider is nothing but it looks like MATLAB. You might have gone through your engineering based MATLAB, right? Or if you look RStudio, it looks like Spider. But the problem again with Spider is it runs the whole code and debugging will become a problem. Once you gain some familiarity, once you have gone some experience into Python, you can move into those compilers. You can use those GUIs. I don't have any issues at all. But I will use it with Jupyter Notebook so that it's easy for learning. All right. Any doubts? All of the report with the data. The standard syntax and the function syntax you have understood. Now let us understand the libraries. Whenever you open a Python project, these are the 3 libraries which we need to import. Without these three libraries, you cannot work in Python. So what are the roles of these libraries? The first one is pandas. Pandas library is for data frame based operations. Data frame based operations like import data, export data, join, concat, reshape. There are many functions: reshape, resample, date time. There are thousands of functions within the pandas library. There are thousands of predefined functions in this pandas library. Data frame based operations. Data frame. What is a data frame? Data frame is by default rows are observations and columns are variables. Data frame is a structure, or in MS Excel, we use the word called table. Data table, right? Just we use this word data table in Excel. We call it as a data table. Generally in Excel, when you create a data table, we create it unknowingly as a data frame. We keep observations on rows, variables on columns. This is the preferred structure. This is the preferred structure for statistical modeling. So data frame is the preferred structure for statistical modeling, machine learning, deep learning, and any other model building. If the data is in data frame structure or table structure, the software can, in the backend, will split it into the native versions. Native versions will be there. Native versions means every software has its own method of doing the computations. In machine learning, the preferred method of computations is matrix. Matrix, you know matrices, right? M into N, rows into columns. Why matrices? Because matrices have the ability to do parallel computing. Matrices, derivatives are all used in machine learning and data science. They are the fundamentals. Why they are used? They have the parallel processing capability. They run the computations very, very fast. So pandas is a library that deals with data frame. Now, what is the data structure of our data? The one which we have imported just now into Python. What is the data structure? It is a data frame structure, right? You have the column variable names on columns. You have the observations on rows. Our listings file is a data frame, a classic example of data frame. The second library, which is very important, is matplotlib.pyplot. This is for data visualization, visualizations, and adjusting plotting windows. One of the important tasks we do is, there are plotting functions in pandas also. You can do a line chart in pandas. You can also do a line chart in matplotlib.pyplot. But in pandas, you can't alter the window size. The plot windows will be there, no? The length, the breadth, the width, and the length of the plot, whether there should be a legend, what should be the size of the legend, what should be the x-axis name, y-axis name, all these things, adjustments can be done only through matplotlib. The matplotlib library helps us to alter the plot windows, increase the plot window sizes, redefine the axes, plot the various charting techniques with different things. In pandas plotting, you can only plot one line per plot. If you are plotting 10 lines, you have to use matplotlib.pyplot. So advanced plottings and adjustments to plot windows all will be done by matplotlib. That is an important function. You will also find plots in pandas, simple plots, single variable plots. You can find them in pandas. Now the most important library of Python, the NumPy. NumPy is the heart of Python. It is the computation, heart and brain, you can say. The computational library in Python for array or list-based operations. Arrays, or also called as lists, are fundamental data structure in Python. The data table which you are giving in Python will be broken into arrays, will be broken into lists. Arrays or lists are interchanging names, synonymous names. They will be broken into arrays or lists, and these arrays or lists are used in processing or computations. Hence, the outputs in Python are always NumPy arrays. That you always remember. Whenever you do any computational process in Python, the output will be a single array or a set of multiple arrays. Because how the computation is done in Python, the data frame table will be broken into arrays. One variable, one array. One variable, one array. And these arrays will be converted into matrices. And these matrices are used for computational purposes. When you are sending a matrix into a computational process, the output will be obviously a matrix or an array. So the output of any computational process in Python is an array or a set of arrays. Okay, that you remember, because sometimes you have to do processing of array again. You have done one computational process on array. On the output, you have to do another process. So if the process is a pandas process, that means you have to convert the NumPy to a pandas, and then you can do the process. You will go through these steps when we go through advanced pre-processing and all. We will be running multiple processes on different variables, and these processes where you constantly convert NumPy array to a pandas data frame, and from pandas data frame to a NumPy array. Conversion is very easy. Conversion is very, very easy. And you can directly convert them without any problem. And when you do these sort of conversions, you will have zero data loss. No data will be lost in this conversion. So you can be 100% sure that there is no data loss. So that is what its pandas functions are reliable. No data loss will be there. So NumPy is for computational processes. NumPy is the heart. Without NumPy, there is no Python. And NumPy has lots of sub packages. There are many sub packages within NumPy that automatically get imported along with NumPy. Once you import these NumPy, these sub packages will also be imported. The first one is scipy.stats. This is for statistics in Python. The library scipy.stats is part of NumPy. It is part of NumPy, which is for statistics in Python. The second library is stats models. This is the IoT data or time series data. This library is created for IoT data or time series data analysis, because time series data analysis is different. So we have these stats models. Stats models library, again part of NumPy. And the most important thing, sklearn. sklearn, also called it as scikit-learn. This is the library for machine learning in Python. All the functions that are required for doing machine learning in Python are available in this library called sklearn, also called as scikit-learn. So sklearn is very, very important for us once we go enter the process of machine learning. Once we enter the data, not even machine learning, data pre-processing and machine learning. Data pre-processing and machine learning, we have this sklearn or scikit-learn. They are very large libraries, and the documentations you can see online, they are very, very large. See sklearn, they're very large library, machine learning in Python. You have classification algorithms, regression algorithms, clustering algorithms, dimensionality reduction algorithms, model selection methods, and pre-processing. We will cover all these algorithms: classification algorithms, regressions, clusterings, dimensionality reductions, and model selection methods also we will cover. And we will also do detailed pre-processing also. Extensive pre-processing will be done on real-time data. They are multi-purpose. They work both as regression as well as classification. Tree-based models, what we are referring are tree-based models. Decision tree is a single tree model. Random forest and gradient boosting are multi-tree models. That means you are building more than one tree. Right. All these tree-based models are both regression algorithms, they are classification algorithms, they are also unsupervised learning algorithms, because as part of output, they give you variable importance. Variable importance is a part of output in all tree-based algorithms. You have new algorithms, extra trees classifier, new tree-based algorithms are there, extra trees classifier is there, boosting trees classifiers are there. So new variants of these algorithms are also there. XGBoost is there, which is why a lot of competitions people use XGBoost because it gives a very high accuracy. Okay, so sklearn is that library which is our things, and NumPy. I'll show you the NumPy. The documentation is unfortunately online, so we need to have internet for the detailed documentation. This is the NumPy, which is the largest library in Python, and it has these sub-libraries. See, everything from quantum computing to basic statistics, everything is there in NumPy. Yes, every function is predefined in Python. Earlier we used to write the codes. Now no need of writing the codes because everything is predefined. The requirement of coding is very, very minimal. Until unless you are making any change to the function, otherwise you can use the just by function name, you can do the complicated process. Okay, so NumPy is the core. See here, you have SciPy, stats models. Seaborn is also a library visualization. Seaborn is also another library for visualization. I don't want to get confused. Every library has its utilities. We will, as we go through the libraries, you will understand the importance of each and every library. Matplotlib library is also visualization. Pandas also has visualization. Seaborn also is a visualization library. Where we use these libraries, you will come to know as we go through this process, because each library has its own utilities. Similarly, if you look at scikit image processing, OpenCV, streaming videos and everything can be images are processed with OpenCV. Then you have PsychopY, psychological processing and all, scikit biostatistics. So all these things are there where we can use these libraries for doing various methods in the machine learning and data science. Similarly, pandas. So pandas, you can see the user guide. So you have all these data structure related functions available in pandas. You can see here IO tools. IO tools means input output tools. Indexing, merge, join, concatenates, reshaping and pivot tables, text data working with missing data, duplicate labels, categorical data. See, here also you have visualizations, chart visualizations, table visualizations, group bys, window operations, time series data. So all the functions related to these, thousands of functions are available under these categorizations. So pandas is also very, very important library for us. So any doubts till now? Now we will also work on other libraries. Other libraries which we will go through this curriculum are, fourth one is after NumPy. One other library we will go through our course is NLTK, text blob. These two libraries are for natural language processing. NLP, NLTK and text blob. We will also import libraries like word clouds, Spacey, all those things will be there, but the major library in Python is NLTK, Natural Language Toolkit. That is the primary library for natural language processing in Python. TensorFlow and Keras. This is for deep learning and image processing. TensorFlow, Keras, deep learning and image processing. PyCharm for deployment. PyCharm for deployment. And there will be some small libraries related to pre-processing. We will use them, but these are the major libraries which we will cover in our Python program. R is not done for you, right? No, R also we will cover all these things, all the concepts which are covered in Python. Using exactly same data sets, we will do the same things in R. Okay, so it's a step-by-step process. We will go in the next 3 months. We will go in a orderly manner, going through one step by step. So these are the libraries which we are going to work upon. So if you have any errors, please feel free to call me. I will come and solve the errors near place only. Okay. So all of you have imported the data, right? No issues at all. So can I proceed, or you want me to wait a couple of minutes for notes and all? Shall I proceed? See, the first process in data science is exploratory data analysis. The first and foremost process in data science is exploratory data analysis. Now we are not talking about database integrations and all, which is again Python programming part. Later we will try to look at how do we connect MySQL with Python and do it. We might do one session on that. But once you get the data, in terms of data science, the first and foremost process is the exploratory data analysis, also called as EDA. This is the first and foremost process. EDA includes 3 components: descriptive statistics plus data visualization plus data wrangling, also called as aggregation. Data wrangling or aggregation. Exploratory data analysis, EDA, will have three components: descriptive statistics, data visualization, and data wrangling, or also called as data aggregation, aggregating the data. Aggregation means group by. In SQL, you might have done a group by, order by, sort by. They are called aggregating functions. So we will also use those aggregation functions in Python. Aggregation or wrangling. We have to aggregate data sometimes to gain more knowledge about the data. Sometimes, particularly in retail, a customer might have done 100 transactions. We aggregate all the transactions to one customer ID. Thereby, we can reduce the size of data. And when you're aggregating, you can take the sum, or you can take the average, or you can take the median. Sum aggregation, mean aggregation, or median aggregation. So we will do those aggregation methods to understand. As the exploratory data analysis says, you are trying to understand the data. The EDA process, we are trying to understand the data that we are going to deal with. Now you have just seen the data Airbnb. It is listings. You don't know what is there in that data. To understand this data, we have to go through this process called descriptive statistics, data visualization and all. Once you run these three steps, you will have 100% thorough understanding of what the data you are dealing with. Then you will be able to know what to do with that particular data. So this is the first process. Now, whenever you get a data, there are certain standardized processes you need to do. You have to do some standardized commands, standardized functions, sorry, like head, tail, dtypes, shape, call names, or I think columns. Columns is R function, columns. So these 4 or 5 functions will give you the basic understanding of your data. So what is the name of our data frame? A, B, and B, DF. You type the first 3 letters and press the tab. It automatically fills. First 3 letters and tab. Dot HEA, the head. What head is giving us? The head is giving us, by default, the first 5 rows of data. By default, it gives you first 5 rows of data. Data frame name dot function name. Here, there is a slight thing. Explicit, like, so what is Airbnb? Data frame name. Data frame name dot function name with parentheses. This is the pandas structure. This is the pandas structure because we have did the pt.read underscore csv, right? We have imported the data as pandas. Whenever you are using pandas functions, data frame name dot function. You can also use this also. You can also use library name dot function name. For some commands, you will be using this also. But primary is this, data frame name dot function name. What is the data frame name? Airbnb df. What is the function name? Head. Head is the function name because head has parenthesis. Now we have given null parenthesis. So it gave us 5 rows and all variables. By default is 5 rows and all variables. If you want more or less, dot head in bracket 10. The integer argument for more or less. You can say in bracket 2, it will give only 2 rows. You can give 10, 100, your choice. Dot head in bracket 10. Now it will give you 10 rows. And if you closely observe, Python starts with 0. When you count rows, you always start with 0. When you count variables, you have to start counting from 0. There is a 0 row, there is a 0 column in Python. 0 row and 0 column in Python. When you're counting columns, you always start with 0, not 1. Okay. So dot head, first 5 rows. If head is there, we also have tail. If head is there, we also have tail. What does tail give you? Last. So how many observations we have total? 5,732. 31 means what? It starts with 0, right? 5731, because it starts with 0. That means you have to add 1. 5732 is the actual count of observations. If you have any doubt, we have one more function called, okay, I'll tell you the function name. One by one we'll go. Okay, so head and tail. Airbnb here dot d types. What we are getting here? Individual variable data types. Oh. What are the data types? We have number, which includes int 64 and float 64. What is the difference between int and float? Float is decimal, int is a whole number. Then object. What is object data here? String. Text or string is object. Sometimes you will also find date time. Date time is also there. Here it is not there, but we will also see something called date time. D types. D types is an exception. It doesn't have parentheses. D types is an exception. It doesn't have parentheses. Actually, before D types, I should have run one more command called shape. Shape is the important command which I should have run before D types. Sorry. You can add a cell. Go to the previous cell and click on the plus sign. For adding this empty cell, you can click on the plus sign, right? You can select the cell, previous cell, and then click on the plus sign. It will add a cell. Moving up and down the cells, you can see the arrows. Okay. Airbnb df dot shape. Airbnb df dot shape. Shape will give you first number of rows or observations and number of columns or variables. Dot shape will give you number of columns or variables. Number of rows or observations or number of columns or variables. So how many observations we have? 5732. And we have how many variables? 18 variables. First, head, tail, shape, D types. Please remember the order. This is the order you have to remember. Then, to know the variables, you can see the variable names here. You can understand some basic understanding of the variables. If you want to access the variables even more deeply, you can, I will talk about the indexing right now. Airbnb df dot columns. Dot columns will give us variable names. Now you need to keep this command in mind because the variable name must exactly match. If there is a spelling mistake, if there is a case mistake, the variable will give you an error. To avoid that, you can copy them. See, all the Windows functions are available here. You can select them, you can copy paste them, Control C, Control V, all the functions will work. So when you're dealing with variable names, you have to be very, very careful. 99% of the times in variable names, people will make mistakes. Either spelling mistake or character mistake or case mistake. To avoid that, run the columns, copy and paste the variable names. That way you will be avoiding the mistakes. Okay, so columns is also very important thing where you constantly need to access the variable names. Okay, 5 standardized compare. Right. So this is a small data, we could do this. But when you're dealing with large data, we have a function called info. Info is a function we use on large scale data. See, when you're dealing with lakhs of rows, when you're dealing with hundreds of variables, then we need to use this function called info. You can also use it on basic also because it gives you the complete information. Whatever we have done in 5 different steps, it is giving in one single go. Getting it right? Info. See, a lot of information is given. Variable type is given. Whether it is a missing values or not, it is given. If any column has observation less than 5732, it means there are missing values in that particular column. That is how we find out missing values. And you can see here, neighborhood has no data. Neighborhood group has no data at all, 0. We can delete that variable outrightly. Right. So info is a function. See here, pandas data frame, range index 5732, 0 to 5731. Data columns total 18, then column names with column count, data type. So, and how many it took 806 KB of memory size. In float 64, 4 variables, in 64, 8 variables, object are 6 variables. Now, you can use it on small data also, but for large scale data, we must use info. When you are dealing with big data or large data, this info function is used. This info function is used when you are dealing with big data or large data. Clear? Very important function. You have to remember these functions. You have to remember these functions. These are the basic understanding. We are trying to understand the data, what we are going to deal with. And we already got one instance that neighborhood group is empty. We can delete or eliminate that variable. Got it? Yes, please go ahead. Shape and D types are in programming functions. They are widely used in programming. When you're writing in programming functions means we use these functions to write programs. You know programs, right? Using for loops, iterators, and all those things. D types and shape are widely used in programming. So if you are writing a lot of where a program or take for example, you are writing a program to identify how much percentage of missing values each column has. You have to write a for loop. Each column total count has to be taken, then divided with the missing values. You have to run a for loop. Then you will get an output column wise percentage of missing values. We don't have a predefined function for that. If you want to write it, you need to know the D types and shape. Shape is very important, right? When you're doing the missing value count, shape is important because denominator is what? Number of rows. What is the shape? Square bracket 0 is your denominator. Or numerator will be the number of in that particular column. You will get the percentage missing. So when you're writing such types, the shape and D types are widely used in programming, means writing for other functions. That is why they don't have these brackets. Otherwise, most of the functions have all the functions have brackets, except columns, shape, and D types. Right, columns also. For X in data frame dot columns. That means we are looping on the column names. Data frame square bracket call. We are looping on the column thing. So that time we are using dot columns as a for loop iterator. So when you have such situations, that's why D type shape and the D type shape and columns doesn't have brackets. They're in programming functions. They are widely used in other programs, writing programs. Got it, all of you? So we'll take a break at 11 o'clock, right? 11 to 11:15, there's a 15-minute break. Okay. So 9 to 11, we will have a session. 11 to 11:15 break, and 11:15 to 1 o'clock or 1:15 will be your second session. Okay, right? Now, we have done some basic understanding of our data. Now, one of the most important is indexing or accessing specific rows or columns in data. Indexing is a very important part. There are two types of indexing. One is character indexing. Character indexing is indexing by column name. The second is numeric indexing. Indexing by column or row number. Indexing or accessing specific rows or columns. So we need to understand these important aspects of our data frame. Every time we don't need all data points, right? We need to go select some specific columns and select some specific rows. So indexing will help us to do that. So let us do first character indexing. Character indexing is done by column name or variable name must exactly match. Column name or variable name must exactly match. Otherwise, it will say error. For character indexing, we will use square brackets, single quotes, and column name. Data frame, DF means data frame. Data frame, square bracket, single quotes, column name. Or if there is a space also, we have to use the same thing. DF, square bracket, single quotes or double quotes. Your choice. Your choice. Single quotes or double quotes. Or DF dot column name. DF dot column name will work only if there is no space. If the variable name has space, you have to use square bracket, single quote, name with space. If the variable does not have space, then dot and the column name will work. These are the three types of indexing. Okay, so let us say one variable. What is the variable we have? In this case, price is a critical variable, right? Let us understand price. Airbnb df dot PR and then tab. Dot PR and press the tab. See, you will get autofill options. If you use this, you will eliminate 190% of your errors. Dot price, double click. Dot dot Airbnb dot price dot head. Similarly, you can also do like this. Airbnb dev square bracket single quote price dot head. You get the same output. But make sure when you're using square brackets, it should exactly match in terms of the alphabets, the cases, the characters, everything should exactly match. That's why copy, if it is a very lengthy name, run columns and copy paste from the columns output. Sometimes, real-time data we will see very lengthy names. Here also we have some very lengthy names. Don't type them. Either use the tab function or copy paste from the columns output. Got the indexing? This is single column indexing. Suppose if you are doing multiple column indexing, multiple columns or variables indexing, you have to use df and double square brackets, 2 times square brackets, then var1 comma var2 comma var3. Double square brackets, 2 times you have to give square brackets. Outer square brackets is subsetting, inner square brackets is, in Python, when you're giving multiple arguments, you have to give it in array form. The inner square brackets as multiple arguments must be given in the form of array or list. Array or list starts with square brackets. Remember, array or list starts with square bracket. That is why we have the inner square brackets. What are the outer square brackets? Outer square brackets is subsetting brackets or slicing, subsetting, right? Subsetting or slicing. That's why we have to give 2 sets of square brackets. Inner square brackets because multiple arguments we are giving as list or array. Outer square brackets because we are doing subsetting or slicing. So what other numeric variable or some other variable we'll take? We'll take price and room type, because room type has underscore, right? So Airbnb df double square brackets single quote price comma single quote room underscore type dot head. Got it? Multiple. Remember, multiple arguments, multiple columns, sorry, 2 square brackets. Any doubts in character indexing? Any doubts in character indexing? Shall I move forward? Okay. Numeric indexing. Indexing by number. Indexing by number. The most important thing you need to remember is Python starts with 0. This you need to remember. When you start counting, you always start with 0. Okay. df dot iLocation. iLoc, index location, square bracket, colon, comma. And the numbers, whatever numbers you want to give, you can give the numbers. This is column indexing. This is your column indexing. df dot log square bracket num colon num is row indexing. Okay, row indexing. Airbnb df dot iLocation square bracket colon comma square bracket 2 comma 5 comma 14 comma 80 16 dot head. You want, you can add the 0 also, so that we, to remind us it starts with 0. 0 will give us the first column ID. So you can select individual column also. You can just give a single number, it will auto select the individual column also, or multiple column like this in square brackets. So what we got is columns. So colon comma before is column indexing. Colon comma before is column indexing. So that you need to remember. Colon comma before is column indexing. Is colon comma after row indexing? Just check. Or loc only we are using. Somebody told me they have added this functionality. If we move colon comma to the end, no, still error. So 1 second, let me check. Or Airbnb df dot location square bracket 0 colon 10. See, you will get 0 to 10 rows. This is better. Don't get confused. Row indexing. Column indexing is iLoc. Loc is row indexing. So that you don't get confused. So we'll break for 15 minutes and we'll come back at 11:50. Okay, take your break. You want me to share this notebook? Huh? Hello? నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను, చెప్పండి సార్. ఇప్పుడే బ్రేక్ చెప్పండి. చెప్పండి, పర్లేదు. అచ్చా 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 అచ్చా. ఏం పెట్టారు? ఓకే, పాజిటివ్ అనే వర్డ్ వాడకుండా ఉండాల్సింది. ఓకే, పాజిటివ్ అని వాడుతున్నారు, కొన్ని జర్నల్స్ యాక్సెప్ట్ అవుతుంది, అవుతున్నాయి. మరి యాక్చువల్గా మనం పాజిటివ్ వాడకుండా కూడా పెట్టచ్చు, హ్యాస్ అన్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అని పెట్టచ్చు. ఎఫెక్ట్ అండ్ నో ఎఫెక్ట్ కింద ఉంటుంది యాక్చువల్గా హైపోథిసిస్. అది పాజిటివా నెగిటివా అనేది మనము చెప్పలేము. ఎఫెక్ట్ ఆన్ అని పెట్టండి. యా, అసోసియేషన్ బిట్వీన్ బోత్ వేరియబుల్స్, నో అసోసియేషన్ బిట్వీన్ నో వేరియబుల్. అది పాజిటివా నెగిటివా చెప్పదు, అది ఓన్లీ అసోసియేషన్ ఆర్ రిలేషన్షిప్ మాత్రమే చెప్తుంది. చెప్పదు, పాజిటివ్ నెగిటివ్ చెప్పదు, అసోసియేషన్ చెప్పదు. అదే, ఓకే, అంతే అంతే. Post lunch or post break, I have not recorded. We have done what? Skewness and kurtosis, right? Somebody please remind me, no? We have not done anything post break. Descriptive statistics, descriptive, skewness, kurtosis. Yeah, advanced plots for machine learning. Histogram, box plot, and density curve. These are the advanced plots which we use in machine learning. Very important plots for machine learning. See, line plots, bar plots, pie diagrams, area charts, all are there. But the three important plots which are very essential is histogram, box plot, and density curve. First one, histogram. Histogram is based on frequency distribution table. You have to first create a frequency distribution table. What is a frequency distribution table? High school statistics. Frequency distribution table has two columns. Class interval. Remember what is class interval? Lower limit and upper limit. 1 to 10, 11 to 20, like that, right? And then what we will have? We will have the frequency. How many of them will fall under that category? 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30. You create a frequency distribution table. If you create a bar plot of frequency distribution table is histogram. The bar plot of the frequency distribution table is histogram. So for creating histogram, first you need to create a what you call frequency distribution table. Now the histogram looks like this. See, you can see these graphs, right? Histograms 0 to 50, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, the bins or class intervals. Somewhere some people use the word bins, some people use the word class intervals. See, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and then the frequencies counts. This is called histogram. Now, The second plot is box plot. Box plot, also called as box and whisker plot. Oh, I forgot. Histogram identifies skewness and kurtosis. You can identify skewness and kurtosis from histogram. From histogram, you can identify skewness and kurtosis. The second plot, which is very important, is box and whisker plot. This is based on quartiles. This is based on quartiles. We need first quartile, we need second quartile, we need third quartile, and we need IQR. What is IQR? Q3 minus Q1 for creating box plot. So box plot is created based on quartiles. First quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and interquartile range is needed for box plot. Box plot identifies outliers and skewness. Box plot identifies outliers and skewness. What are outliers? Outliers are extreme values that fall outside the normal range. They are extreme values that fall outside the normal range. Now, outliers are calculated using a formula. Outliers are identified using the following formula. On the minimum side, it is Q1 minus 1.5 times interquartile range. 1.5 times interval, and on the maximum side, Q3 plus 1.5 times interquartile range. So this is how any value that falls outside this formula range will be considered as an outlier. So outliers will be identified by box plot using these formulas. Now, the structure of box plot looks like this. Got it? This is the structure of box plot. Q1, yellow line is the median or Q2, Q3, interquartile range, the formula for minimum. Anything that falls outside will be treated as outliers. Dot, dot, dots. Outliers can be on the minimum side, outliers can be on the maximum side. The position of the box will tell you the skewness. If the box is onto the left side, positive skewness. If the box is onto the right side, negative skewness. The position of the box will tell you whether it is positively skewed or negatively skewed. So this is the purpose of box plot. And the third curve is the density curve. The third curve is the density curve based on standard density scores and identifies skewness and kurtosis. Identifies skewness and kurtosis. Density curve, also called as kernel density curve. kernel density curve, also called as kernel density curve or density curve. It uses the normal distribution formula. Very big formula is there, 1 by pi into e square. So you have that Gaussian distribution formula. See, Gaussian distribution formula. It uses this formula to calculate the density scores. See, this is the formula. 1 by sigma square root of 2 pi e to the power of my exponential to the power of minus x minus mean whole square divided by 2 by sigma square. This will give you the standardized score for each observation. And then once you plot line plot of those standardized density scores, you will get the density curve. Got it? So this is the Gaussian formula or the standardized equation formula for normal distribution. Right? Now, let us plot these things for the variable price. Okay. So Airbnb DF dot price dot plot kind is equal to hist. Oh, completely the bar is onto the one side only, highly skewed. Data is completely skewed. Only we got one bar. Because of that 8,812 price is there, no? The maximum price that is distorting the data. So actually we have to do a frequency distribution count and then we have to plot it to know the exact skewness. Remember, smaller values we make them greater than, more than x, all you combine them into one category. Smaller values will be there in the end. Those you can always combine them into others or more than $700 or more than $500. In Excel grouping we did that. Yesterday we have done that Excel grouping. What was the grouping we have done for yesterday listing? I did send the Excel sheet. Okay. Okay. But this is a completely distorted plot we got, right? Histogram. Now let us plot the Airbnb DF dot price dot plot kind is equal to box. Oh, comma what is equal to false. See, the outliers are there only one side only. Because of these three, we got the complete data in this thing. So only three observations, right? 2000. See, because of these three values, this is the problem. If you remove them, we'll get a good histogram. No, all these are outliers. See, all these dots are outliers. We are not even able to see the box because the data is completely skewed to one end because of these values. Now, if you take out these values, because only three values or some values, then you will get a proper box plot. That we have to do when you're doing model building or sometime. We have to deal with them, right? See, one or two, I think only one observation is there about 8,812. One we can delete, right? Similarly, $6,000 something is there. These are very odd. We can delete these three. Only three observations are there about 2,000. We'll delete them. Then the plot will to some extent materialize. Then we will also delete some other values. And then we will get a proper graph. So we have to do this cleaning. That is called data pre-processing and data cleaning. That process we have to do because we got the distorted graph. We can't use this data now. So we have to do some analysis. That means we have to first clean the data. That cleaning I will tell you how to do when you are doing pre-processing. Okay, then the next plot is the density curve. Airbnb DF dot price dot plot kind is equal to density. One would stop. Yeah, sure. This box, yeah. By default, it will give you plot like this, vertical box plot. By saying what, we got the horizontal box plot. Horizontal box plot is easy to interpret. If you don't give what is equal to false, it will give you vertical. Okay. So as a practice, let us do it for number of reviews, right? So hey, you got the density curve? Create histogram, the density curve. Huh? Okay. Kind is equal to density. Number underscore of underscore reviews. Histogram, box plot, and density curve for the variable number underscore of underscore reviews. Yeah. Got all of you got that? You got a good plot? What is your observation? Hello? Hello? హలో, థర్డ్ ఫ్లోర్ రిసెప్షన్లో ఇచ్చేయండి. ఇచ్చేసేయండి, రిసెప్షన్లో ఇచ్చాను, వాళ్ళు తీసుకుంటారు. Right. So Airbnb df dot number underscore reviews dot plot kind is equal to hist. This is also same we got, huh? Similar plot only we got, not much of a change. Hey, can we plot everything in one? Hey, we try to plot in one window here. On the thing, on it, plt dot subplot 2, 2. plt dot hist Airbnb df dot number underscore reviews. Subplots, okay, subplots. It find if you can find anything subplots. plt dot box plot Airbnb number of reviews. Right, where we can plot all three in one go. See, I told you that PLT we can use PLT dot plot 213 PLT dot density PLT dot density is not there. Huh? PLT dot density. Where is the density plot? Or let us see VF dot number reviews dot plot and is equal to density. It is not taking, right? Hey, find out what is the command for search in Google. Matplotlib density. Density curve matplotlib. No, I'm looking at matplotlib. Matplotlib. Gaussian underscore KD, yeah? PLT dot. But there is no Gaussian underscore KD. One second. Matplotlib has density plot. Seaborn it's there, but we'll do Seaborn later. We want it on Matplotlib. Acha, you have to use Gaussian KD density and then you have to plot it. Huh? There is no direct plot. Pandas PD is there, but we want it in the Matplotlib. Acha, density is equal to true is there. Density is equal to true is there. Hist. PLT dot hist Airbnb dear dot number of reviews, comma, density is equal to true. What happened? Number must be 1 less than equal to or 3. 211, 212, 213. Subplot. Why we got an error here? Acha. Oh. 311, 312, 313. Then to remove all these values, PLT dot show. Now you can see the 3 plots. Oh, density is equal to true is again giving us this only. Huh? Histogram only is coming, right? But we gave density as equal to true. It is not giving. Yeah, that's what now. PLT dot hist density is equal to true. Matplotlib density depth stack. KD plot Seaborn package. Dist plot Seaborn package. Pandas. So we have to use there is no direct way of plotting. Huh? We have to use KD plot only, C-bound, right? Okay. We will use later, but this is how we can do multiple plots in one thing. So this is the advantage of PLT plots. We can do multiple plots. So let me just tell you the plot command, explain the plot command. So what we have basically done is PLT dot subplot 211, 212. If you are calculating, see the first number should match the number of plots you are going to create. So we are creating two plots, 2, 1, 1. For second subplot, 2, 1, 2. And then give the plt.hist, the data reference, plt.boxplot, the data reference. It will create the dot plots, plt.show. Will remove the unnecessary numbers, plt.show. We'll get the plots. Now you can see the plots in one single frame. See the density plot, this is a little bit better, right? Compared to the previous plot. Subplot. If you want to create 5 plots, 5, 1, 1, 5, 1, 2, second plot, 5, 1, 3, third plot. That 1 in the middle refers to axis, single axis, right? We are using single axis only, right? All of them are being plotted on one single axis, not side by side or something like that. We are creating them in single row. That's what the middle one refers to. Density, you have to plot it as separate plot. So in the PLT plots, we don't have density. So for PLT, you have to plot density means you have to import scipy.stats package, then calculate kernel density and do it. Instead of that, use the pandas plot. That is better, right? Why to complicate things? We have pandas plot, na? That one plot you can do below only. So Airbnb df dot number of underscore reviews dot plot kind is equal to density. It's the same, right? The two plots and the one plot. All of you got the PLT things, the importance of PLT to adjust the frames, to create subplots. That is where matplotlib plays a very important role. As we go deeper into our machine learning, we have to create subplots, multiple plots like that for various metrics. That time we will use that one. So subplot you can use there. Got it? So what we have done today is we have spent a lot of time on exploratory data analytics, where we have studied the univariate statistics and all, the univariate statistics, tendency, midpoint, dispersion, scattering around the mean, then location, your quartiles, deciles and percentiles, then asymmetry, how close is data to normal distribution, and their respective formulas also we have looked into them, mean formulas, range, variance, quartiles formulas and all. And then we also understood the importance of mean and median. Mean gets distorted, so always be careful. Whenever you check mean, always check the median also, because mean gets distorted. If the mean is distorted, we will take median as our midpoint. That is very important. And standard deviation must be as much lower as possible. There is no fixed range for standard deviation. And if the range is very wide, we'll have an issue of skewness and outliers. Similarly, skewness. Positive skewness means the curve is onto the left side. Negative skewness means the curve is onto the right side. So we have also checked the skewness visualization, the positive and negative skewness and kurtosis, right? And then we have also done some analysis on that, and then we have done the visualizations. Now, one last part which we have not done today is the last one, which is the bivariate statistics. Bivariate statistics, the last, and then we'll end for the day. So in bivariate statistics, two variable statistics. They are also called as measures of relationship. They are all called as measures of relationship. What are the two measures of relationship? Covariance and correlation. Covariance and correlation are the two measures of relationship. Covariance points to the directionality of movement of both variables. And you are bothered about mathematical sign only. Positive covariance, both variables move in same direction. Negative covariance, both variables move in opposite direction. So for covariance, you always look for the mathematical sign. Positive covariance means both the variables are moving in the same direction. Negative covariance means both the variables are moving in opposite direction. Then comes your correlation. Correlation quantifies the relationship. Correlation quantifies the relationship between both variables in numeric terms. So it will quantify the relationship between both the variables in numeric terms. Right. So for correlation, we have some table. So these are the metrics. 0.92 correlation lies between -1 to 1. So 0.90 to 1, very high positive correlation. 0.70 to 90, high positive correlation. 0.50 to 70, moderate. 0.30 to 0.50, low positive. 0.0 to 0.30, negligible correlation. Same thing for negatives, minus 90 to 1. You can see in the table, positive and negative. And what is the plot? Bivariate plot is scatter plot. The bivariate plot is the scatter plot. Let me put it in separate table so that I can. The bivariate plot is scatter plot. So if you are looking at correlation coefficient scatter plot, where is that 6 table or 7 table plot? Okay, scatter plot for correlations. So we always look for somewhere between these two, between 0.80 to 0.3, somewhere between these two. If they are all spread like this, no correlation. These are all no correlations. Negative and no are all there. And then we are look for between high and moderate is what we look for. Generally, we look for 0.60 to 0.90. That is what we tend to look for. Now, just let us do some calculation. A, B, and B, DF, double square bracket, single quote, price, comma, single quote, number, underscore of underscore reviews dot COV. Negative. So we have negative covariance, right? Minus 2.60. Look at these diagonals, which are equal. So negative covariance. You have to look for the diagonals, which are equal. Minus 2.060. Minus 2.060 is the covariance. Airbnb, so we can do the same. While we are typing, you can take this instead of COVV, COR, RR. CORR is also negative correlation, right? Negative correlation. Dot COV is for covariance, dot CORR for correlation, right? And the last one, scatter plot. Airbnb DF dot plot X is equal to price, comma, Y is equal to number underscore of underscore reviews, comma, kind is equal to scatter. You can see the scatter plot. Okay. So I'll share the file with you. File download as IPNB. Okay, so IPNB file I'm sharing. I'm also sharing the PDF file. Print preview. Print. 12 pages. All the notes. Whenever I share a PDF file, you can show that there is notes in it. And for interviews and all, you can just go through these notes. Simple short notes. Right? So just sending you the mail. By all. On EDA. Descriptive as data visualization Python. So downloads this. So I've sent you the file. Okay, just check. Did you guys get it? Online guys, I'm stopping the share so that I can start the recording. Any doubts online?